Well, Kogan's core business is online retail, and if you look at Google, who do search, they build their core business, the search platform. And I think it's important for businesses to focus on what they do best and invest in that internally so they can differentiate themselves from the rest of the market. If we were to buy a platform that every other retailer had, we're going to be starting at the same point as the other retailers, and we're going to be waiting on those developments and be living with those same constraints. By adopting a focus to, the build and grow your own platform, we've been able to move really quickly in the market, and Dick Smith was one of those examples. We've launched features in rapid sort of time periods because of this approach, because we're familiar with the source code. It is based on open source platforms, which not only do we benefit from the proprietary aspect that we put on top of them, we also benefit from what the community and other developers are contributing to that underlying platform. So I think the biggest piece for me is, if it's your core business, it's important that you have that competitive edge in it. We wouldn't probably build an ERP system or a HR payroll system, because that's not what we are.
Yeah, for us, really, there were two reasons. The first of them was that, honestly, I didn't think it was going to be possible to do it outside. I personally spent maybe 8 or 10 40-hour weekends to just try and crack this nut. And then once I'd kind of cracked the fundamental technical challenge that I was faced with, I was then able to hand it over to a team. But the second reason was very much akin to what Goran was saying, and that is around most of the automotive industry uses the same software as a platform, and I felt that if this was done outside, it would very, very quickly make its way around all of the other automotive dealerships, and I wanted to have this as a competitive advantage. And if we were going to make it available to others, which is a possibility, I'd rather own that.
Yeah, for ours, it had to be fully integrated. So we wanted to make sure that there was no points of error, so it wasn't between the consumer getting the voucher served on their phone and actually going in store, scan it with our POS system, and actually making sure that everything seemed legitimate across the whole way. That and the fact that too, that like Boost has got this here sort of special sort of like charisma inside it. So everything from like all our online advertising right through to our radio ads, like that's been really dealt down from the top out there, because Janine's got this here great spirit. So nobody really knows your brand better than you do. So we did look at some other companies, and they did advise us how the best way to do gamification and to actually like use it as a point where you can actually interrupt and actually more or less force feed like your brand messages down the consumer's throats out there, because like they're out in there, they're playing for this game. So lots of people said now is the perfect time to actually educate them about your product, but we didn't want to do that. We actually wanted to make something that was engaging and fun. So we actually had no education of the product in there. The only things to do with the product was that you were saving fruit and vegetables, and we actually didn't ask for any information. They actually volunteered a lot of that. So, and we actually ended up with this here product that's been quite unique, that's very different to all the other gamification out there, and it's just sings a boost out there. Everything it's got our core feel.
For me, the biggest technology is not a technology at all, I think. I think probably the biggest technology change is one based around the changing psychology and the philosophy of the behaviour of the consumer. And that is really based around the fact that millennials don't want to buy, they want to use. So in the case of automotive, it's about buying kilometres, not buying cars. And I think when you pair that together with driverless cars, autonomous vehicles and so forth, I think that creates a very strong opportunity around subscription models. But I mean, we hear a lot about big data, we hear a lot about the Internet of Things, we hear a lot about cloud and whatnot. These are all just, at the end of the day, enablers. I used to say, doing a lot of public speaking around cloud, that cloud provides the freedom to be remarkable. And I think that these technologies are all around having that freedom to respond. But the real driver for me is this change in attitudes around utility, I think, is an off-the-cuff answer without a lot of thought.
Yep. Warren?
I think it's a similar thing. I mean, ultimately retail is about a product, and your core drivers that have driven retail and commerce since the beginning of time are always going to be important, and that's using technology for us to make that product price point better, the service better, get it to customers more quickly. But the technology is going to sort of change, and it's the key, I think, is something I used to say, where I'd say you would never train someone how to use a newspaper or how to read the news online. Yet, in the corporate environment, you'd always undergo these heavy training processes on how to use some tools because they didn't think about using technology to remove that aspect of technology in the customer experience. So I think it's going to be embracing the technology that allows commerce to be more seamless. And that could be, artificial intelligence to provide more personalised and relevant products. It could be better tools to learn more about the products you're about to select from online. And it could be, we're seeing a lot of things like the Google Home where you can now just talk to a device and its language detection is excellent. And you can order things from there. You can order a Uber or you can order a product, and it's going to vary for every sort of friction point. If you need to order laundry detergent, you don't need to think about it so much. You can just say, order me a new bottle of laundry detergent. If you're going to buy a new TV, you're probably going to want to read the specs and you're going to want to get that information point there. So it's going to be a thing again about that frictionless point, the seamless way to buy.
For us, it's slightly different because we're like a low-value, impulse consumer buy to this. So kind of similar to what was already discussed earlier on today. For us, it's all about brand loyalty and actually making sure people love your brand. We were really fortunate that we've seen a great increase in loyalty after the game. So we're continuing going down that route, actually making sure we are the brand that's well and loved. And we're working a lot on right now as well. I think it's like a lot of companies is around that whole customer experience piece and NPS. But we're not doing NPS for our sake. We're actually trying to complete the customer loop and actually try to make sure that anyone who's been disgruntled in any way possible, we can actually then go back to them and doing that in a frictionless way. So through our app, there we're able to refund people or give people additional bonuses, just a click of a button. We're trying to look at companies like Uber and how they're disrupting the industry. We're playing a lot with chatbots at the moment because that's something that's really interesting. But again, not chatbots for trying to force a sale or something. They're just more interaction, having that there friendly, autonomous thing is there, and then hopefully that'll increase sale. Because for us, it's about trying to change the customer's perception when they're in the supermarket and they actually see 2 or 3 juice companies. I'll go with Boost because they're the ones who always make me smile.